Now, as Kenyans continue to tighten their belts with the high cost of living, behind closed doors, the Ruto administration has quietly inked a deal worth hundreds of millions of shillings.
Not for food, not for hospitals, but to polish its image in Washington.
That's right. Tonight, KTN investigates a lobbying contract that could drain taxpayers over 325 million shillings a year.
Our reporter Haman Kamariki starts us off.
Kenyans juggle skyrocketing taxes, doctors down tools, schools cry out for capitation, and hospitals run out of drugs. State House in Kenya has found the money not to plug the gaps at home, but to polish Kenya's image abroad. Documents obtained by KTN reveal a deal signed on August 6, 2025, hiring a U.S. lobbying firm, Continental Strategy LLC, at a staggering 27 million Kenya shillings every month, more than 325 million Kenya shillings a year. The deal signed on August 6, 2025 by Kenya's peers Abraham Korir Singoe with the Continental Strategy LLC led by Carlos Trujillo, a Trump-era U.S. ambassador with strong ties in Washington. Beyond the retainer, Kenya will also foot the bill for luxury hotels, first-class flights, chauffeured cars, even fine dining, as the contract is renewed automatically unless cancelled. And the timing is no accident. This comes as the U.S. Congress begins a 90-day review of Kenya's major non-NATO ally status, a privilege granted just last year by former President of the U.S., President Joe Biden. But the mood in Washington is shifting. Lawmakers are questioning whether Nairobi deserves the honor. Their reasons: extrajudicial killings, abductions, and violent crackdowns at home. Also under scrutiny is Kenya's opaque ties with Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, accused of war crimes in Khartoum, and lingering fears of flirtations with Al-Shabaab, all against a backdrop of Kenya's growing courtship with China, Russia, and Iran. Continental Strategy's job, that is, to repackage Kenya's story, massage its image, and keep Kenya on Washington good books, no matter the reality on the ground. But the optics are stuck. A government accused of abuse and excess at home, spending millions to hire image makers abroad, even as hospitals go bare, classrooms lack funding, and pending bills pile up. The big question is, does the president and his handlers believe that the script he runs at home with our MPs can simply be exported?
Kuondolewa kwa tovuti ya mtandao wenye ramani ya hospitali za nchi na Wizara ya Afya, wakati ambapo mamlaka ya bima ya afya SHA inakumbwa na madai mazito ya hospitali hewa, mikataba iliyopandikizwa bei na mabilioni yaliyopotea, badala ya majibu imewaacha Wakenya na swali moja tu: serikali inaficha nini?
Kwa miaka mingi, tovuti yenye ramani ya vituo vya afya nchini inayodhoresha hospitali, kliniki na zahanati kote Kenya ilitumiwa.
Ila kwa sasa tovuti hiyo haipo tena. Imeondolewa na wizara ambayo inapaswa kulinda afya yako.
Wakati wa Kenya wakisubiri muda mrefu kupokea matibabu, hospitali zikikosa dawa, inaonekana Wakenya wanachezewa katika utoaji wa huduma za afya.
This is not only a cover-up of heinous crimes against Kenyans, but also a gross breach of Kenyans' constitutional rights, as these are sites that keep and verify government records.
Getting more and more proof that we have a government that really does not care about accounting to Kenyans. They are more keen on selling whatever PR stories that they have than they are in service delivery.
Kuondolewa kwa tovuti hiyo kumekuja siku chache baada ya sintofahamu kuhusu SHA, bima ya afya iliyokusudiwa kuongoza mpango wa huduma ya afya kwa wote, ambayo kwa sasa imezongwa na madai ya vituo hewa, mikataba ya kifisadi na mabilioni ya fedha iliyoko hatarini. Wagonjwa wamesalia bila msaada.
Are in really pain from denied treatment, lack of medicines, shortage of doctors, cruel treatment at hospitals that force them to buy medicaments and medicine and bring them to hospital for treatment.
Kwa miaka mingi tovuti ya KMHFR iliwawezesha Wakenya kudhibitisha iwapo kituo kimesajiliwa, kimepewa leseni na kinafanya kazi kihalali.
People have ways of storing data even if you pull down the system.
How can such a brazen and persistent theft of public resources be normalized by the government and explained away as an oversight?
Why it has been made difficult for us to comment about Chief Shah and the entire combination is because there are people who are definitely benefiting from this thing illegally, and now we have proof.
Wakenya sasa wanabaki na maswali. Je, ahadi ya huduma ya afya kwa wote tayari imepotezwa kutokana na ufisadi?
Those who have colluded to defraud Kenyans must also face the full force of the law. Whether they sit in the ministry, in the professional oversight bodies, more so the medical council, or within SHA itself.
If he has failed to manage this system properly, or if he has failed to deliver health to Kenyans, surely he must resign.
Chief Justice David Maraga has hit out at the Ministry of Health of alleged fictitious payment by the Social Health Authority, calling them fraudulent transactions made at the expense of suffering Kenyans. Maraga questions why the Health Cabinet Secretary and SHA managers remain in office despite ghost facilities being paid in May, June and July, long after the government claimed they had been shut. Maraga is now demanding that the Ministry of Health and SHA discloses how much has been collected from Kenyans, how much Parliament has allocated, and how much has actually been disbursed, insisting that those who colluded to defraud Kenyans must face the full force of the law.
Something dark and deeply disturbing is happening in our healthcare system. Only yesterday, the Kenya Social Health Authority's website went dark. The Kenya Master Facility Registry also vanished. This is not only a cover-up of heinous crimes against Kenyans, but also a gross breach of Kenyans' constitutional rights, as these are sites that keep and verify government records on hospitals and healthcare centers. This comes after revelations that hundreds of millions of shillings were dispersed to ghost facilities and non-operational health institutions across the country. Prior to this, the Cabinet Secretary for Health had indicated to Kenyans that the ghost facilities were closed in May, yet there is evidence that they continued to receive public funds in June, July and August. The question that remains in the minds of many Kenyans is this: how can such a brazen and persistent theft of public resources be normalized by the government and explained away as an oversight? How can the CS in charge of health and the management of the management team at SHA continue to be in office after such expose?
The wait for nearly 8,000 universal health coverage staff to be absorbed into permanent and pensionable terms is still far from over. This after the Council of Governors issued a statement directly contradicting Health CS Aden Duale's directive to transfer the UHC staff to county governments starting September. The council argues that Duale's announcement goes against early agreements between the national and county governments, deepening the standoff even further.
It was agreed that the Ministry of Health would allocate adequate resources as per the approved SRC salaries scale before the transfer of the payroll to the county governments. Since the contracts are still valid, the decision to transfer the staff at this time is premature and untimely.
According to the Council of Governors, the proposed transfer process is yet to be formally agreed upon, and that county governments will require 7.6 billion Kenya shillings annually to sustainably retain the workers once they are confirmed.
The UHC staff currently are engaged on contractual terms and are entitled to gratuity. The Ministry of Health should therefore settle all the gratuity payments before the transition to county governments.
In a statement dated August 25th, 2025, Health Cabinet Secretary Duale announced that the joint headcount exercise conducted by the State Department for Medical Services in collaboration with the Council of Governors has substantially verified UHC staff. According to the statement, out of 7,629 staff verified, 215 did not present themselves and were identified as either ghost workers or unqualified health professionals.
The report on the verification that we've just done in collaboration with the ministry, the results are not out. We are supposed to be collaborative, not directive. We are not taking this as a directive by the ministry to absorb the staff. We are just hoping that they were fishing or they were testing waters.
Governor Njuki has underscored the crucial role UHC staff play in county health systems, but insists that adequate funding must come first before their confirmation, noting that their contracts remain valid until May next year.
Katika taarifa yake, katibu mkuu Francis Duale anasema imekuwa vigumu kuwaeleza wafanyikazi kinachoendelea katika SHA, ikizingatiwa kuwa SHA inatumika kama mkanda wa kusambaza malipo wakati haidhibiti mfumo wa malipo unaolenga kushughulikia matatizo ya iliyokuwa bima ya NHIF. Aidha, Duale anadokeza kuwa inasikitisha zaidi kwamba ingawa SHA ina bodi yake huru ambayo ni lazima iruhusiwe kufanya kazi yake kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyoanzisha, taasisi ya SHA pamoja na Wizara ya Afya inaendelea kuifanya SHA kucheza nafasi ya pili kwao. Ni hali ambayo muungano wa wafanyikazi sasa unataka SHA ipewe udhibiti kikamilifu wa mfumo wa malipo ili kuwezesha SHA kujukumika kivyake. Sasa ni msimamo wa KOTU kwamba SHA isipopewa udhibiti 100% wa jukwaa lake la malipo, wafanyikazi watapoteza imani walionayo katika taasisi hiyo na hivyo kuathiri uzingatiaji na utoaji wa huduma. Professor Kithure Kindiki defended SHA, saying unlike the defunct NHIF, SHA is effectively detecting fraud, adding that while NHIF fell on fraud, SHA will rise on its ability to detect and prevent fraudulent claims.
The most potent weapon in the hands of an oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Wakichanuka kuisha wewe.
As in, silaha ya maana sana yenye Ruto wako nayo ni akili ya watu wajinga. Hiyo ndio silaha pekee yenye serikali inakuaga nayo. The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. Mnakuja mnaambiwa na sisi tumeamua hiyo bili itapita ama isipite. Kuna huyo niliona MP fulani juzi anasema ati alikuwa very emotional. I was so happy, I was like cry. Ati and it's so shameful that you'd want even your name to be recorded like that on the Hansard, in the Hansard. We have passed bills for this president. We have done. I was like, why are you becoming a bitter girlfriend? You should be recalled because you are not supposed to pass bills for the president. The only thing you are supposed to do in parliament is pass bills for the national interest. By the way, kila kitu kwa hii katiba imesema everything will be done for national interest. You are confirming to us that you know what? You are bribed. Kama watu wangekuwa werevu wangekuwa recalled kitambo, but I said an MP is an average of the people in a constituency. Wow, umetuita mafala. Hapana, sijaita mtu yote wala. Sijaita mtu yote wala.
To those who believe politics doesn't affect them, I hope today has taught you how politics affect you directly.
Ruto simpigi kura. Amenajisi inchi. Bila kutumia hata kondom.
This is Selector Dede.
Wanadhani asibongo lala, ikikupita we bongo lala, na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasonga. Hatujikuku mewaka sana, na mabisto na chafua raga, na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoza. Hakuna mboga, peleke shuleni watasoma, Madaktari wamegoma, hapa sani Yesu atatuponya. Wambie punde imechoka sana, farasi bado ijapatikana. Ni mandai wanagonya na mali wanaponda, unakonda wananona. Maandamano, 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 amise maandamano, 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 maandamano.
Jam down shuffle.